Hey, and welcome back. I'm your host, Jack. This is the Jack City channel here. And I'm going to go back in time and do a little bit of week 7 action. I know that we just cleared week 10. So without further ado, let's just hop right in. We got a lot to cover for this one here. First one, Bournemouth at home to Fulham 3-1. Okay. First things first with this lineup here, spectacular for Bournemouth. The game ended in 3-1 because, let's be honest, Bournemouth are absolutely on a tear. It's not just this game. Seeing into the future as I can, they're on an absolute tear. So I think this genuinely, Bournemouth might be one of my favorite teams to watch right now. They are I actually did watch this game when it happened, even though I didn't put out anything. Just remember, like, this team they're smooth, they're confident playing in this game, aggressive, forward thinking. I mean, the fact is too is that it was in really difficult conditions, in the pouring rain, and you're just like a dominant team, just straight up dominant team. And this is just get it. If you don't remember, basically, the game itself was kind of ugly. First half, not much happened, but the second half was very lively. And the game kind of really opened up when Sessegnon scored in the 70th minute. And then all of a sudden, Semenyo does an unbelievable goal right in this corner here, dribbles by a guy right on the byline, puts it through, I think, the defender's legs. Just outrageous. Justin Kluivert hits one from way out, way downtown. Immediately afterwards, flips the game on its head, within 6 minutes, and then a counterattack at the end to win. This basically just completely flipped, and it was over. And Bournemouth were the best team throughout the game. Fulham never really kind of got this one goal that was kind of stole it. But at Bournemouth, I'm going to give you an A rating for this game. Fantastic. Really, really good. For Fulham, I'm going to give you a D+. From your perspective, you had a chance to win it. And I think you knew it because you kind of grabbed a goal, kind of smash and grab a little bit. But the other thing too is that you only really had one chance that on net that was actually pretty decent. And looking at my notes here, again, you cannot hold on to leads, and this is going to bite you. I could foresee a relegation scare this season. As we know, they're kind of around the relegation zone now. But what I really mean is later on, the relegation scare. It's kind of like Palace from years back or Everton from years back. I don't think that you're going to be an Everton in the sense of the last day, it's to be decided. I don't think it's like that. I think it's going to be you're within 3 points, within 5 points. Somewhere around there. You're going to be just maybe a game removed. It's going to be in March or April. You're going to be around there. That's the feeling I get from you after this game. But fantastic game from the genuine. It's genuinely so good to watch Bournemouth dominate this game. Absolutely. Okay. And by the way, that was my favorite performance. This game, Bournemouth. This performance was my favorite one of the week. It's the first one right on Friday. All right, let's go to Leeds 1 at home to Spurs, who won it 2-1. Okay. So for this, you have a little bit of a change in lineup. Odobert is up here. Simons is also in the starting lineup. But let's look here. So starting with Leeds in the starting lineup, or with just the game, I'm going to give you a D rating. Overall rule that I have for any newly promoted team, it's always that you have to get draws or wins at home. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts against any team. I don't care. Any team. Make it difficult. Make it scrappy. Be physical. It does not matter to me. Just get it done. It legitimately does not matter. I understand that's going to happen, but the golden rule is to minimize it as much as possible. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Okay. This guy here. Okay. He missed 3 chances. One in the first half when he won it upfield. Okay. The second half, he had a turn and shot, missed that one. Third one, he he flashed it across the net, missed that one. 3 chances, missed them all. That's the kind of stuff that I'm worried about, is that you don't have a striker who's able to get it done. I know that he scored against Wolves. I'm just saying, I'm not. That doesn't give me confidence. All right, missing 3 chances like that at home. I'll say is that also, I think this game probably should have been a draw, because I think you actually performed really well, and you kept defensively actually quite solid. Your offensive output, again, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, if he put like one of those away, he could have done it. But I think that you probably deserve a draw. But yeah, I mean, was it you had plenty of you had set pieces, you had counters, you had possession play, like you actually were dynamic, but unfortunate. Tottenham, this is a B-, which is usually what I give for like the worst possible victory. Not worst possible, like, I mean, you could have won in worse ways, but I'm just saying it's like one of the it's a win, but you didn't really kind of earn it, if I'm honest. It was more important that you got the win than the performance of it, but in my opinion, like, obviously it's result based. But I was just not impressed by how you played in this game. Your individual quality was 100% better. That was very obvious. There's definitely some quirks that need to be ironed out from this game. Just some of the pass progressions, players just not quite linking up, making mistakes, not knowing where the run's going to be. As a cohesive unit, as a team, Leeds looked like a better team. They looked like they were actually together and had a better understanding, right, than you. And I think you lost both halves. I think Leeds were better than you in the first half and the second half. So, I don't think you really necessarily won that. But look, you can take 3 points. If you can win playing poorly or not up to like the standard, that is a good sign traditionally. So we'll take that. Let's go to Arsenal at home to West Ham here. Arsenal 2, West Ham 0. Okay. This is a standard win for Arsenal. Standard win. You're going to have some of those from time to time, if I'm honest. But yeah, I always thought you were going to win. Always. Like, this was like one of those games where you're just like, yep, that's going to be a win. That's 3 points. It should be no problem. And it was no problem. It's like, that's it. My worry on the you were not able to finish off offensive possessions when you had them. The 2 goals came from a rebound off a shot from Eze and also a penalty. So, I've seen it happen before, but with enough, I've seen you been able to break down in possession, but it's not regular. It's not like that. It's only with, mistakes from the other team, which again, you got to capitalize on. You just got to, you got to take the chances that are given to you, and then set plays, obviously. But you just weren't able to take down the possession. The other one is, but solid play against a team that's clearly vying for a draw. They're just putting everything on defense. So A-. West Ham, I'm giving you a D. I don't think, one, obviously you didn't play it well, but you basically had a certain loss. Like, that's kind of the expectation coming into this. I haven't seen any meaningful change to the spirit of your squad. I have seen positive development in its starting 11. But I'm just still, it's game 2 for Nuno Espirito Santo for him here. And I'm just looking at the lineup. I like the lineup better. Magas is in the middle, which is new. It's fresh. It's a new idea, but I'm seeing Magas was clearly that player that was supposed to be a gamble to see if he could provide some more midfield solidity in there for a third player, because obviously you got Socek, who's injured. Guido seems to be not up for it yet. But tactically, I think the right play, considering that both goals came from the outside of the wing back play. So, you know, there was not a lot of space in the midfield for Arsenal to play in, which, I mean, so it kind of worked, but you eventually got beat out. The minor tweak that I would have to the starting 11, if I could give Nuno some advice, is I would have put Guido in, or Freddie Potts into the midfield rather than Magasa. Obviously, like, if I would have put them in the middle instead of Mateus Fernandes, and it is only because I think you just need like that extra defensive-minded midfielder in the middle. But I don't blame Nuno, like, really, for repeating the same team, minus Walker Peters, who also got subbed out. This is basically a carbon copy from the week prior, but Walker Peters and Aaron Wan-Bissaka swapped out. That's the only change. So I don't necessarily just like begrudge him for, because he did perform. They did perform better last week, but I'm not going to put too much stock into this game. It does stink that Rice scored also against you, as obvious, you know, just a little bit of a sting on that. But anyways, okay. As I said, D for West Ham. Let's go to Man United 2, Sunderland 0. This game was a lot more comfortable for Manchester United as a 2-0. You had a promoted side coming to visit the big, you know, Theatre of Dreams, the Old Trafford. Is a big game for any team that's newly promoted. Lamens does get his first start, and in my opinion, this is the correct move. Binder is incompetent in the air. His average shot stopping ability, I don't think he really provides you anything distribution wise either. Lamens is better at shot stopping. He's good. He's not great. He has above average like control in the air, but he definitely needs work coming out for the ball, like for the one-on-ones. But he's also one of my concerns as well. This is just an observation of him. He's not a big goalkeeper. Like Donnarumma is like massive. Like he's lanky. He's tall. Like, you know, Allison's like that as well. Lamens is a little shorter. He's a little smaller. Again, I don't know what that's going to mean in like the more long term, but you know, same with was it Sam Johnston? He's a big boy. He stands tall. He's big. Nick Pope is lanky, real lanky. But anyways, the only takeaway I can have from Man United is you showcased how you can switch the play from one side of the field to the other. And I mean, like diagonal balls, the diagonal balls would usually come from somewhere around this region up to the corners, or vice versa. Or you would, you know, Ahmad or Dallo would pivot the play from one side or to the other side. And that kind of play, the quick play as well, creates room for Mbeumo and Mount, Šeško, you know, or Ahmad and Dallo to actually get space and time on the ball so they can run at the defenders and then catch, you know, them mid-shift, and then it becomes a problem for them. So that was like one thing that I noticed that was like consistent, you know, whether in transition or in possession. It was a quick shift to the next, which is good. It just means like better passing. Sunderland, D+. I would not worry about this game, if I'm honest. This is like your first like big game against like the big six. So I don't necessarily blame you for shrinking in this moment against like one of the big teams. And on the bright side, Robin Roofs. I mean, he's a real talent. This guy, unbelievable stop power. Like this guy is incredibly good. If I'm honest, Roofs, very, very good. I mean, he had a save that like he put it onto the bar, like postcard, like just like level of just up. Oh, so good. It was so picturesque. But Sunderland D+. I can't really like put you down for anything else. But Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. Let's see what we got here. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. Okay. Chelsea. Wow. Okay, let's see here. I want to say it. I don't know how many times I have said it so far, but this team could win or lose to anybody. I know that I'm saying this like, week 10 is just starting to happen. Like, I'm aware of it. Like, there's a bunch of other stuff that like I've written down, but like I got that sense from them right away because of how young the team is and how emotional and immature they are in these games. But they show up in the big games. Chelsea shows up in the big games. Esteval looks like an absolute gem. Like, he's a golden child. He's an absolute golden child. He looks so dangerous all the time. There is a level of bravado that this team has, a level of pride that they're able to, in confidence, that they know they can go on and beat anybody. But it seems as though there's like a dual-edged sword for this. I think this is the reason why Chelsea struggled against Man United and got the red card early on. Like, Sanchez was a little unlucky, like bad judgment. But that game got fiery, and I think that's because Chelsea brings that fire. Like, when they go up against the big games, they bring a level of intensity, and they're always up for it. The other thing too is that the real issue I see with them is consistency, as we know, not only just in this game, resulted by this game, but also in the future games and in past games. The mental side of your game, you're just still maturing bit by bit. And I wouldn't rule out like maybe like a cup title this year, but I mean, I don't think you're going to get a league title by any means. But Liverpool, D plus. I'm giving you a D plus. First Crystal Palace, and then it becomes Chelsea back to back, right? I know it might sting, but you've always been backpedaling this year. Like, you've always been like just winning by the scrape of your teeth, like the skin of your teeth. And you're always consistently, this is another one I keep finding an issue. Szoboszlai got sent to right back for Connor Bradley. You keep sending probably one of your best midfielders onto the right wing back position. And this is because like you're just don't have the depth that you used to. And it's becoming an actual issue. I mean, like, Wataru Endo can't even play out there. Connor Bradley, I don't even think is that good enough, like, for the level of play that you expect. Connor Bradley is a very good player, but he's just not the level that you need. And lastly, the criticism of Wirtz, I think he's gonna come due. I don't think it's entirely warranted, like the level of criticism for him. I know he's a huge price tag, and that just like that weight and expectation on him. I'm sure he's feeling it. Okay. I know, again, this is week 7. We're already past week 10, and I'm already kind of commenting in retrospect, but for me, he's going to come due. I just think that he needs to, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes around at some point and just kind of talks about how the price tag actually did bother him a little bit, and the level of expectation for him to perform did bother him. And it did kind of, I just think that he's kind of bogged down by expectation a little bit. He's 22 years old. This is his first big move. Like, he's going to get there. Just have, honestly, as a supporters group, if I was like a Liverpoolian, I don't know what you call it, a red. If I was a red, I would stick behind Florian Wirtz. Stick behind him, just give him try to help him, encourage him to get going, because we all saw what he could do at Leverkusen. So just, that's that. Chelsea, this was, for me, the best performance of the weekend. Best performance. Chelsea, I give you an A-, Liverpool B+ or D+. But congrats, Chelsea. That was a big win. Okay. Here we go. This is Aston Villa 2, Burnley 1. Okay. Villa, it definitely feels like you've turned the corner. Like, even more so than the Fulham game from the week prior. Looking back at my notes, there were a lot of nervous tension in the Fulham game, which is like, Fulham's not that good of a team. And especially compared to you, but like, you were way more positive in attacking at home, and you're way more, ready to go here. Mullen seems to be really absolutely hellbent to cement himself. He looks really hungry to try and get himself like a starting spot here. And, scoring has been kind of an issue for you guys lately. But I do, again, I'm telling you right now, Rodgers, I'm a fan of Rodgers. I really like the way he plays. And just his link up play, his ability to just set up the strikers on that final ball. He's just so good at it. He also has speed and techs to get around players. He's really has like a crazy package of talent that he's able to draw from. But this is a good win. Conceding the goal tells me that you're just not fully in stride yet. But I appreciate the effort. You get a B out of this game. You're getting a B letter grade. Burnley, I'm giving you a D plus. On paper, and probably even in context of this game, I don't think this was really like a winnable game. Like, just because Aston Villa has now turned the corner, right, on this, and you're a newly promoted side, and you're on the road to a team that basically made at the skin of their teeth, didn't make Champions League last year. It's so difficult. You just caught Villa at the wrong time. Like if you played them like 2 weeks prior or 3 weeks prior, you actually might have gotten a draw out of this, but it is what it is. You got a little outclassed, and ultimately, like, I feel like it's going to be the same when you take on like Newcastle on the road. And also, again, the points are at home. You'll earn the points at home. Don't worry about this game, and just like keep going. And if anything, you didn't give up. Leslie Ugochukwu displayed this good fighting effort, scored late, put a little bit of pressure on them, as you can see in the 78th minute. So, you're I don't want to it's not over for you guys. This is not a make or break game. So D plus for Burnley, because it's okay. It was okay. Everton 2, Palace 1. Okay. This game was interesting. This is interesting. So Everton, I'm going to give you a B minus. Okay. This might be one of the more unimpressive wins that I've seen this year. Okay. Your win did not inspire me, nor did it actually make me believe that you even deserved to win this game. However, I do think that this is going to be a trend that we see when you're at home. Okay. When you're at home, you guys look you look like a totally different team at home than you do away. And I think it's going to be I think the Hill Dickens is going to be one of the great fortresses of this year. Like, you guys look so different at home than you do. I really do. Also, I think that you might be a top half team. I think you might be a top half team. Your front three, excluding Beto, are really clicking together and making it just happen week after week. Like Ilman and Jai and Jack Grealish, they look so good. Garner's just got a cannon. It's just another added weapon. If they're trying to if you're pushed up all the way up onto the opposing box, right? And you got Grealish out here and Jai out here. You got maybe Beto or Barry in the middle here, and then Dibbling's floating around this top box. But you have somebody around Wharton or Kamada for where if Garner's up here, you're able to recycle it back to Garner. He's got a shot before even he can think about shooting, or he can think about laying it off. Just that added level of threat goes so far, because Garner has an absolute cannon. Yeah, but this I do want to say though is Everton, this is a really difficult opponent. I give a lot of credence to Crystal Palace defensively, and that's this team. There's a reason why Palace has not lost in 6 games, and they hadn't lost up to this point yet, and you did it. So it's a really good win. You just won terribly. You just did not. This game did not show me that you won the game. You got 3 points though against a team that basically doesn't lose. Crystal Palace, I'm gonna give you a D plus, being probably like pretty much as good as you're gonna get for a loss, pretty much, right? This is one of your best, like it's probably gonna be one of your best losses. You didn't play great, but you certainly didn't do bad. But the thing is that your start is definitely, it just shows to me that your start is not a fluke. You are that good. And I'm not going to call it just yet, but I think it's just too early for you. I'm still concerned about fatigue, injuries, European schedule, right? Because you haven't faltered yet. This is like the first little stumbling block, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. But I just can't be too harsh on you for a game like this. But you definitely, like, in the longer run of this season, I am worried about how the schedule is going to get to you. I am. But anyways, let's move on. It's Newcastle and Forest. Okay. Newcastle 2, Forest 0. Okay, so let's see here. Newcastle, you dominated the game. I'm giving you a B. Okay, you owned Forest from the first last whistle to the last whistle. You just got the job done. That's pretty much all it is. The best part of this is the fact that your midfield is the absolute engine of the team. Joelinton, Tonali, and Guimaraes are like the three that just move the offense and the defense, which is excellent to see. I mean, these three absolutely ripped apart, which basically effectively is like kind of a midfield four. I know that Gibbs White and Ndoye kind of go out to the wings, so maybe not necessarily, but Yates and Anderson were like in over their skis like a whole game. They just had no time on the ball. There was always an extra man around. They couldn't even touch them. So like tactically as well as just like the performance wise was great. I don't really have that many notes for you. You just had a solid win. I do want to just put this out here. This is just like a personal opinion. I love Dan Burn. Dan Burn is, what I think about Dan Burn is that he has like this Gary Neville kind of trait. There's a great quote that I like, or sometimes I like to think about like Gary Neville, because he's very cynical about himself, his own playing style and ability. Even though he was one of the best, wing backs the Premier League has ever seen, he's very critical of himself about his ability. Dan Burn, I think he's kind of optimistic and a little jokey. He's kind of lighthearted, but I think that he has that same awareness of his strengths and his weaknesses. Like he's just very aware of like what he excels at and what he's not so good at. So therefore, he styles his play around that awareness about not getting him into spots where he is going to, get exploited or get found out. But he's going to try and put himself in spots, maybe move the defender, maybe position himself or drop off or step up, for positionally to make sure that he's not going to get beat out on a sprint, for instance, that he's going to win the header, that, he's going to mark his man. Like he's just mentally, he's always clocked in. I really like Dan Burn. So anyways, great player. Forest, I'm giving you a D. You had a really bad game. Okay. I still feel bad for Ange because if I'm honest, I think this is an absolutely impossible scenario for him to manage off the back of what just happened. He has 4 Premier League games into his tenure, and he's already like, people are already immediately just like, get rid of him. Like it was like, we're like, oh my God, man. Marinac has nuked the squad. It's not Ange's problem. It's not Nuno's problem. Marinac has nuked the squad. That's literally what happened. Unfortunately, I still think this team is taking a massive step backwards this year. And the thing is, I do not know how far you'll have to go to get back to like this point, right? But what is good is that you have a favorable contract schedule going up. So at the end of this season, you obviously got Zinchenko and Douglas Luiz who are on loan. Willy Bali is going to expire as well for his contract. He's not necessarily a big starter, so that's totally fine. 2027, right? So those people with 1 year left at the end of the year. Taiwo Owenyi and Chris Wood. So you're going to need to be looking for strikers. Okay. That's not necessarily that bad either. I mean, Wood is 33 right now. So he's got, almost 18 months left. Right. And then Taiwo Owenyi. Are you even here? Nope. Anyways, he's got injury issues, Owenyi. So that's not that bad. In 2028, oh no, it's Matt Sells is also in 2027. They're only in 2028. You have the actual first kind of wave of like real significant talent. Matt Sells is like your starting keeper. I am aware. Same with like Wood and Owenyi being like star striker, like or your starting striker stuff. So there's like it's not like you don't have. I'm just saying like. Chris Wood's getting on. He's going to be 34 or 35 at that point, right? Taiwo is injury prone. Matt Sells is, I think, 33, 34 right now. He's 33, so like in 2 years, he'll be 36. So, there's that. And then finally in 2028, you're going to have some like actual, more younger talent. You're going to have Gibbs White, Hudson-Odoi, Sangare, Dominguez, Olaina, and Yates. Like you have a huge swath of like actually really good talent, particularly with Gibbs White, Dominguez, Hudson-Odoi, Sangare. Like you got some like real talent there that's going to actually be. So at the end of the season, you got a couple guys that have 2 years left on their contract. And if they're in demand enough, then people will pay that high price. But just saying, it's the Premier League, so you never really know. Anyways, let's go on to my Wolves. Wolves 1, Brighton 1. Let's see here. Okay. Wolves 1, Brighton 1. Okay. The only cure for Wolves is a win at this point, right? I'm aware that of what goes on in the next few weeks. As we know Vitor Pereira is no longer at a job. So just as full disclosure. But this, It doesn't even matter how, like in this game, it doesn't matter. You have to get a win. There's like really nothing else that matters. It doesn't even matter how you get it. Just get 3 points. But on the positive side, the fight and desire is still in the team. It sucks that you drew a game literally in the same manner as you did the week prior against Tottenham, which is not great. Also, I'd like Krejci as center back, and he's just putting in the work, and he's actually communicating. He's working well with Santi Bueno, and I really cannot add much commentary beyond, like, you need a win. That's it. I'm a big Wolves fan. I always will be a big Wolves fan, but, like, yeah, that is what it is. Brighton. Okay, you put in an average. Okay, so Wolves, by the way, C-. Brighton are giving you a C out of this game. You put in an average performance. I expect better from Brighton in this game, if I'm honest. You forced Sam Johnson to put in like an impressive performance for this. You put in 17 shots, 6 on target, and you had a couple quality chances out there. And Sam Johnson kept my Wolves in the game till the very end. Well, actually throughout the whole game. But I think there's you still have the team together. Stylistically, you're very coherent. You're performing reasonably. This team did not lose the game. You didn't lose the game like as in like you actually like were beaten, like statistically that is. And it felt like you just had like sheer determination and like togetherness able to put it over the line. But it's weird. It's like you have like this weird disconnect where like I can see all this promise, this bustling feeling and aspect around you, but like there's like a disconnect. I don't know why you guys put in like weird performances like this. Like it's just like super inconsistent with you guys. I don't know what is. I'm like sometimes I don't know what I'm watching with Brighton. It's very, very weird. Like I can see this high ceiling because I'm looking at all this like great young talent. I'm looking at Gruda, Baleba, Ayari, like Cardiola is 26. Never mind. Yakuba Minte, Diego Gomez, like all these like really like young guys who are like so talented. Even the guys who come off the bench, like Simas, like incredible. But, and it's funny, it comes out in these performances too. Like you draw against Fulham, you beat City, you beat Chelsea, you draw Wolves. Like it's just inconsistent. That's all I'm highlighting. But anyways, that's that. Last one, Brentford versus Manchester City. Okay. This is another one that's interesting. If I'm honest, this is another one that's kind of weird. Is for Brentford, I'm going to give you a D+. Okay. I don't fault you for losing this game whatsoever. You performed really admirably. And the one thing I really like about Igor Thiago's play right now, is that he baits defenders into misjudging the flight of the ball when it comes up over the top. And it usually it skips off the top of the head, like in this game, or goes over the head or whatever have you. He just baits. He's able to play off that last defender, and he baits them into like misjudging it. And look, it's great. It's great. He's so good at it. And happened against Man United in the week, in an earlier game. Man City, identical reason. Also, Kelleher, I like him as a goalkeeper. He saved you in this game, and he just kept you in this game for periods because Haaland scored early, and he was just able to There was one with Reinders blasted it right at him, and he had a huge reflex save, and I stick by him. I think he's a great pickup for you guys. Really good. City, B-. What's weird about this win is the fact that you were really unimpressive with the whole. And I don't look at this beyond getting 3 points on the road, if I'm honest. That's kind of all it is. Considering the fact who you are and who Brentford are, you should be beating them pretty easily. However, I think that Brentford are you should be beating them pretty easily. However, I think Brentford are better than they're letting on to believe. And the thing is that, again, I know that week 10 has just happened, but there are notes that I made wrote prior to the the weeks leading on. Sometimes I'd watch the game and I'd write notes out, and then I didn't record the video, but I would have notes. This is one of those notes. But but also the G-Tech, they're making a pretty good game so far as well. But all things considered, the Haaland goal, I really want to highlight this. The Haaland goal is one of my favorite goals of this season so far. It is so good. It's so good. Haaland, that level of play, that style of play that Haaland is so good at, the fact that he bodies defenders, he looks so clean when he's able to put himself in between the ball and the center back, right? Continue through the play, hits the shot hard, low, off balance. He switches it between feet with shifting his body. Oh my God, it was so good. It was tactical. It was power. It was speed. It was so good. Genuinely, really good goal. I really like that goal. Obviously, the other thing is Rodri's injured. That sucks. But there's Brentford D+, Man City B-. And okay, this is again. I was for week 7, the best performance Chelsea, worst performance Forest. My favorite is Bournemouth. I hope to see you in the next one. I will be recording these pretty back to back real quick, so I'll get week 8, week 9, and then week 10 out for you shortly.